Oh no. When you look at that, it may just be time to glaze. What's up, guys? I'm Toji, and here to do a breakdown / live reaction review and analysis of a Gamblrr. Toji versus Kenjaku is completely one-sided. Now, I'm interested to see this one because in a lot of Gamblrr's recent videos, he's been talking about how his perspective on Big Jaku has changed. Like that's interesting. That's mad interesting. Notably, in Toji's like an interesting matchup too. Typically, a lot of people, myself included, would typically do like a Maki versus Kenny matchup solely for the fact that those two characters exist at the same time, and then people would do like an adult Gojo an adult Geto versus Toji run back. You know, kind of different characters, the ancient era. Well, ironically, if Kenjaku's from the ancient era, but still, it's a matchup that you don't really get seen. Well, I actually do hear about it sometimes, but not too often. And I have my own interesting thoughts on this, naturally, all based around kits and the differences in kits. I'm excited, so let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, I also have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, Toji versus Kenjaku is a funky matchup. It's a funky matchup because of what kind of needs to happen for both of these characters. Because I'll be honest, as a gargantuan Jaku jacker, in fact, I'd say like, no, I'm not one of the Jaku jackers out there, but I'm a pretty hefty Jaku jacker. I'm a big guy who's sitting there like he's got to be top 3, right? Like he's got to be top 3, bare minimum top 5. Open barrier domain, 2 crazy broken curse techniques, most IQ in the verse, really high level battle IQ. You could make an argument, I mean, maybe not an argument for the highest because of Gojo and Sukuna, but like literally over 1,000. Like the way we talk about Sukuna and his level of battle experience is how we actually need to be talking about Kenjaku, right? Because, like, the man has actually been living and fighting for the past, at bare minimum, 1,000 years he's been alive. If you think Kenjaku learned the incarnation thing from Druv, or whoever initially did Druv's first incarnation, and believe that the second incarnation of Druv wasn't a Kenjaku thing, like Kenjaku just found his remains and then incarnated him again, then Kenjaku could be even older than the Heian era. So, like, Kenny's been alive and fighting. That's the big point he makes when he's battling with Tengen's defense squad, where he's like, hey, y'all just ain't done like me for real, you know? I've been battling like that forever. And because of that, and the open barrier domain, and the good curse techniques, and just the general level of narrative hype he gets to the point where Yuta is like, may need to use Takaba, and then sneak it just to make sure I'm at full power if I fight Sukuna. May need Total to get thrown in there as well, so I can switch up the sneak while his brain is scrambled after fighting Takaba. Like, they go so far out of their way to deal with Kenjaku, while they still need to worry about Sukuna. And naturally, it just makes sense that Kenjaku's that powerful. But at the same time, he runs into the Yuki problem, ironically enough, where he fights okay, that's a lie. 2 people, what? That's a lie. 3, I mean, is it a lie? Is it 3? It may just be 3. He doesn't actually fight that much. If you look through Kenny's whole, like, narrative run, he fights a teeny tiny bit. It's presumable that he fights Mei for a little bit before she teleports out to, I believe, Malaysia. And obviously, like, that doesn't matter because it's Mei. A grade one's like, who cares? And then his first real fight is against Think, Jimmy Neutron, Brain Blast. It's against Yuki, isn't it? Am I tweaking? Is it like he fights Jujutsu High and Choso, but like by fights, he raffle stomps a heavily fatigued, though admittedly heavily awakened post Mahito fight Yuji. And then Arame comes in and then cooks viciously. It wasn't really a Kenjaku fight. I mean, sure, Kenjaku in the anime gets an extended little brawl with Choso, but once again, I don't think we're glazing Choso that much. Like, we can glaze him a little bit, but that guy got one tap by base Yuta. Like base Yuta. Not sword wielding base Yuta. No, base Yuta. And that was, Choso was done. And sure, he may have gotten stronger against some emotional lamps later, but then guess what happens later for Kenjaku? He fights Choso again, Raffle stomps him, but then Choso actually manages to catch up and force him to use the gravity technique, one of his broken curse techniques. And then what? He fights Yuki. But where does Yuki scale? Oh, to Kenjaku. But where does Kenjaku scale? Oh, to Yuki. It's that stupid circle jerk. Like, and admittedly, I don't like it because it happens a lot in JJK. Like, notably, I'd say another gargantuan victim of the circle jerk is another ancient sorcerer, Kashimo. Where, okay, Kashimo scales to Akari. Where does Akari scale to if you disregard statements? To Kashimo. He's the strongest of his era. Maybe. Considering he never fought Ryu. What does that even mean? Like, and we know for a fact, just based on Ryu's statements, he is more durable than Kashimo. He does have higher output than Kashimo because of his statements about having the highest in the culling game that you cannot deny. You can argue, you can make like roundabout arguments for Sukuna not falling underneath that statement, whether it be the historical statement or the culling game statement, by making roundabout weird arguments. Either the idea that Sukuna's output may have never been maxed out and thusly recorded, so they may not know Sukuna's full output, so maybe he's exempt from the history statement, and then technically he's not registered in the culling games. Yuji Todori's registered in the culling games, kind of, sort of. So like, technically you can exempt Sukuna from those statements, but still, you can't exempt Kashimo from that statement. So he's weaker than Ryu, so he may not even be the strongest of his era, and he only fights Akari. And then he fights, in heavy quotation marks, Sukuna, but what does that mean? Kenny has the same problem. He fights Yuki, who's a special grade tier sorcerer. Cool, where does that go though? Like, I don't know. Can I sit here and say Yuki's stronger than Yuta? No. Stronger than Gojo? No. Can I say Yuki scales to Toji? No, I don't know. I have no idea. You know who I can scale Kenny with? Geto. You know who Geto struggled with? Baby Yuta. But of course, that was the Geto who was suppressed. And then Kenny says, if Geto was using all of his curses, he would beat Yuta. And you did have to make a death binding vow in order to beat Kenny. With a full power, fully manifested Rika, but of course a much less experienced Yuta. You see the problem here? And then we have the same issue with the other combatant who I haven't even mentioned so far in this last 5 minutes, Toji. Who, for all intents and purposes, and this is from a Toji toe taster. Just as I'm a Jaku Jacker, I'm a Toji toe taster and a Maki beat muncher. Let me tell you, Toji is definitely, I'd say, in the back half of the series scaling, heavily carried by Maki's feats. Like, I mean, speed-wise, he's not really, because, like, the Naoya feat, or the Naobito statement just applies to Toji, right? Oh, he's the second fastest sorcerer outside of Satoru Gojo? Guess who could have beaten a more prime Naobito? Toji. So, like, clearly there's still stuff there, especially with his awakening, but notably a lot of the back-end scaling that makes Toji impressive comes from Maki. But the thing is, Maki at least has that scaling, right? So where a lot of Kenjaku scaling would come as a byproduct of Geto, a lot of Toji scaling comes out as a byproduct of Maki's. But Maki has a much better, way higher scaling for Toji to feed off of in comparison to Kenjaku, who kind of has bottom feeder scaling. Unless, once again, you go into the mystical, legendary, scrumdiddlyumptious, juicy Rika circle jerk. Where, okay, Geto's able to block and keep up with a fully manifested bloodlusted Rika, alongside a angry, ever-evolving bloodlusted Yuta. So, presumably, he's stronger than Ryu, or at least is able to like, block Ryu's hits and stuff like that. So Toji wouldn't be able to, like, immediately one-shot him with anything but SSK. Cool, where's the speed scale, though? Presumably slower than Naobito, right? And we know, just based on what Mei explains about cursed energy caps, that for all intents and purposes, it should be literally impossible for Kenny to have better stats than Geto. Literally impossible. Unless you think Geto, a fully realized, full-grown adult, special grade sorcerer, did not know or was unable to hit his body cap, but Mei did? But Mei did? Like, I know she's older. She's, I believe, their senpai, but still. Do you think, of all characters, Geto couldn't hit his body cap? Remember, the JJK universe does have stat caps. Mei hit hers. I'm assuming Geto did too, so Kenny literally can't have better stats. So, what speed scaling does Geto have? That puts him even above Naobito, or Naoya, the two speedsters of sorcerers. And then by proxy, what do I have to put Geto, and by proxy Kenny, considering they share the exact same body, above Mach 3 Naoya? Like, I can put Toji above Mach 3 Naoya v Maki. I kinda got nothing. What do I have on Kenny's front to say that, oh yeah, he could do the exact same thing Maki did and react to a either full chain dismantle or world slash? I don't really have it. What can I really say in Geto's kit / Kenny's kit outside of domain expansion, which wouldn't work on Maki or Toji, and maximum Uzumaki, which wouldn't hit Maki or Toji, would be comparable to a Sukuna Black Flash? I don't know. So that's the thing, right? If we're disregarding narrative and just going with straight feats and scaling, technically, I can understand Toji and Maki both taking Kenny for a walk. Kind of, sort of. Toji, especially though, because he has inverted spear and could pop off. Like, the moment he stabs Kenny with inverted spear, Kenny dies. Because his body runs out of technique. If he impales Kenny at all, Kenny's cooked. In the same way that Infinity gets shut down on immediate contact, if Kenny gets touched by inverted spear, he's dead. Just because of how his technique works. So that's bad. But even then, Maki, I said, could give a good run for his money because Kenny's bag is kind of foundationless, and presumably, considering Maki is more than faster than any curse that Kenjaku should have to offer, curse spam probably just wouldn't work against her. Kind of like it didn't work against Yuki. And the only issue she'd have is the gravity technique. But as we've seen, the gravity technique can either A, be outsped, if you want to assume that's what Yuta did, because remember the gravity technique is AoE. We see this in the Yuki fight. But then Kenny still gets his head sliced off by Yuta, or you argue that he wasn't able to activate it because of Takuba's meddling. So there's that. If you think it's a speed thing, I think it's not the most absurd thing to say that Maki and by proxy Toji are faster than base Yuta. Is that a crazy thing to say in the modern day? Is that an absurd thing to say? Or at least relative? At least relative. Is that absurd? I don't think that's absurd. So sure, Yuta did catch him off guard, but anti-gravity technique, AoE, he couldn't activate in time before Yuta swung. So like, I don't know. But the Jacker in me hates that. The Jacker in me hates that I can see a very easy and solid argument for Toji just raffle summon Kenny. Because he's like the worst matchup for him ever. Domain don't work. That's Kenny's answer to a lot of characters, right? Like whenever the Kenny versus Yuta debate comes up, it's never, oh, Yuta and Kenny go relative and hand to hand and then bada bing bada. No, it's both domain immediately because they know the other is a threat, and then Kenny's domain shatters Yuta's domain because it's an open barriered one, and then Yuta goes curse techniqueless and then Yuta gets back shots. Like that's it. So I don't know. I've been yapping for a minute now. Let me actually let Restless Gamblrr hop into this video. I'm sorry, I yap a lot. The link to the original video will be in the description down below. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's go.
Toji Fushiguro and Kenjaku. These two have more ties to each other than you think, with Toji's reluctance to finish Ghetto off indirectly leading to Kenjaku getting his current host body, but also Toji's failure to finish Gojo off indirectly leading to Kenjaku's end at the hand of Gojo's students. Despite these two never interacting upon Toji's untimely death, what would happen if they were to fight? In today's video, let's talk about exactly that. What's up guys, versus Gamblrr here, and in today's video, we've got Toji versus Kenjaku. I've had so many different interpretations of this fight over the years, and my current one is definitely the one that will piss a ton of people off.
Do I have to language that one? Nah! Well, for safety's sake. Editing me, we're gonna take a note of that for safety's sake. Editing me, I'm sorry buddy. I know you were sleeping for a while because I was yapping a lot, but let's just do this. Hopefully editing me remembers what these numbers mean. But okay, so he's going with Toji. He's going with Toji because that's the one that makes people mad, right? And that's the thing, right? I can already hear them. I can see the like my Gias is activated, bro. Well, not the Gias. That controls people, not future sight. But like my Sharingan is activated, bro. I see y'all in the comments, but be real. But be real. Outside of narrative, what does Kenny have? What is in his bag? What feats? Tell me. You come to me and tell me what statements or feats or anything that he had that puts him above Naobito in speed. Not to talk of Maki and Toji, who are dealing with characters much faster than Naobito. Or at least, even if you think, right? Because I've seen some people make the argument that, wow, actually, where are my glasses? They're all the way over there. I'm not getting them. But I've heard some people hit the, well, actually. Wait. I'm not reaching for those goggles either. But, well, actually, there's no proof. There's no proof that, Curse Naoya is actually faster than Naobito. Yeah, that's just street headcanon. And I will admit, technically, the person making that argument is right. But okay, fine. We'll disregard that. We'll assume Cursia is the exact same speed as fast Prime Naobito. For whatever reason, let's just go with that. Because there is no, like I always say, there's no evidence saying otherwise, so it's rude to assume that. We have Naobito admitting that at any moment Toji could have wiped the Zenin clan. Or no, it has been admitted by Zenin clan characters that Toji at any moment could wipe the Zenin clan, including a more Prime Naobito back when Toji was still alive. So, even if we make the ludicrous assumption that Prime Naobito at top speed is as fast as Cursia, who was getting styled on, speed blitzed, and mollywopped by Awakened Maki, then that's it. And then still, I have nothing to get Ghetto above that. But proxy, I have nothing to get Kenny above that. And unfortunately, against Toji in particular, a lot of Kenny's stuff just doesn't work. The SSK plus inverted spear combo is too strong. I see a better argument for Kenny beating Maki if solely for the fact that I'm not sure how exactly she gets around the gravity stuff, as long as he can activate it in time. If he can't activate it in time, he dies. Simple as that. But like, if he can activate it in time, then pins are down, and then I guess point. The thing is though, he can't mix techniques. He would have to, the way he would have to do it, he would have to activate domain, but not for the sure hit. He'd have to activate domain so he could activate the curse technique, so he could activate Uzumaki at the same time that he's using the gravity technique. Like how Sukuna had his domain open and was still using the 10 shadows the entire time by having Raga's wheel in the shadow above Megami's soul. That's the thing Kenny would have to do. He would have to have his domain active, then activate his 6-second anti-gravity engine inverted, and then blast Maki with a point-blank Uzumaki. That's the only way that I can see Kenny doing it. Because, I'm sorry, I don't see a single curse that Kenny has actually killing Maki. If she can eat Sukuna Black Flashes and keep it pushing, and he dismantles from Sukuna, no curse in Kenny's bag is getting rid of Maki. He would need to Uzumaki her. And hope it works. And really hope it works. But let's see, Gamblrr. Let's see how mad we make people. I'm assuming. I can see the comments. Oh, I can see them. Let's see.
So with that being said, let's get into it. Bring on the hate. For this battle, I'm starting with Toji. This is for the simple fact that people are confused about whether or not Maki's scaling still applies to him. I'm here to say it right now. Yes, it does. Toji.
Yeah, I feel. Oh, well, he's probably going to go into it, so I'll keep this short. I know y'all are like, Pencil, shut up, watch the video. But I'm sorry, all right. I love doing reaction content because I love covering other people's content, and typically shock horror. I don't actually like the content that I typically cover. I don't actually listen to too often outside of my own reaction videos, just in case I ever want to react to them. Like I've been waiting for a while. Like luckily enough, Eternal Flame has either finished or gotten very, very far into a bunch of his what ifs. And thusly, I'm planning sometime soon, either if not this weekend or next weekend, to sit down and do like a whole binge of one of his what ifs, part by part. Because I made the mistake of doing his Toji what if right when it was coming out. And I was like, and I've been holding off and hesitating on waiting to watch his stuff. But the thing is, the one thing I don't like about reaction content, especially when I do it, is if I'm like sitting there not saying anything and doing nothing, because I feel like the content isn't transformative at that point. Like, why am I here? So I like to yap a lot, and thusly that's why I keep going. And obviously I have a lot of things to say, no duh, yapper. But that's why I feel bad. So if y'all are ever like, Pencil, why doesn't Pencil shut up and react to the video like a good little boy? One, I'm a full-grown man, all right? It's my channel. I do what I want. And two, I don't like just taking content. I like to make it as transformative as possible by yapping as in-depthly as possible. But the Maki and Toji thing, one, it's literally impossible for her to get stronger, kind of, sort of. Not necessarily, but like, we have no idea if she did. Sukuna mentions no change in her development, for one. Two, post-time skip, Gege releases a statement about Maki, revealing that she is the exact same as Toji Fujiguro in his prime. Bada bing, bada boom. That's post-time skip. He mentions that well after the time skip had started. I think Maki versus Sukuna started at the point when that statement made by Gege was released. And also, it's kind of just like, even if somehow she did get stronger, it's unquantifiable how much stronger she got. Like, there's no way to tell. There's still hot debate on whether or not Yuji and Yuta or any of our cast and crew got anything other than bulkier. Because that's the only thing Sukuna knows changing. Nothing about their AP, nothing about their speed. They're just like weirdly linear. And I think it's because a lot of the cast hit their stat caps or just couldn't do that much in a month period. Either way, it's rough. But let's see.
Maki are still equal even after the time skip, and here's why I think this. Throughout the entire story, there's been an emphasis on the Heavenly Restriction's full realization. When Megami fights Toji after he destroys Dagon, he says Toji is Maki but fully realized. Before going into any other examples, what is it that the Heavenly Restriction gives you? Superhuman physical capabilities. This of course includes her physicals, which we know from Mei Mei has a limit, and also other things like precognition, soul perception, and being able to jump in the air. Going back to the examples, when Mai sacrifices herself, she states that Maki wouldn't be able to reach her limits if she was around, literally stating that she has a limit. And finally, when Maki eliminates all obstacles like her mental block, We get the infamous line that she's equal to Toji and fully realize.
That is true. I never even really considered that argument, but yeah, there's so many statements about Maki being fully realized as if like that's it, which does suck, but it also makes sense, right? Like ultimately, a big thing that the Heavenly Instruction users are is not just the fact that they are a cheat code in the hard counter to a majority of the UC world, but it's also the idea that once you get there, that's it. You can kind of only decline. Like, Toji is mentioned in Shibuya to be stronger than the Toji we see in the flashback of Hidden Inventory because he's not rusty, because he's at the prime of his abilities, back when he was still Toji Zenin. But he's only stronger because he's back to his full completed state with no rust on him. So Maki can only reach a point and kind of stay there. And honestly, it does lead to a debate on whether or not, like, it's even physically possible to have better stats than Maki. In terms of the normal people. And by the normal people, I mean like Yuta and Hikari and Yuji and everybody else. Because the Heavenly Instruction users are stated to be the limit of human potential. Like that's it. No one's better than them. They're like statements even outside the fact or beyond that, where like Gege mentions when someone asked about like who has the best grip strength, Gege goes out of their way to say excluding Toji and Maki because they're the exceptions here. It's Kenny, blah 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 blah, or like I think the strongest is Kenny in his body, which implies that Gojo doesn't even have better base physicals than them. What he has, or not even base physicals, obviously reinforced physicals, what he has is blue to make his head stronger and red to make his head stronger, stuff like that. The Heavenly Instruction users have the best physical bases. And since they have the best, they kind of can't go higher. The only other normal quote-unquote character in the series who could arguably be physically stronger than them is, strangely enough, Mr. Farmer Waffleman himself, Kashimo. Because his form is specifically stated to bypass all human limitations. Where Maki and Toji are taken to the limit of what humanity has to offer. That's why Suguna ultimately is like, what's better, the refinement of flesh or the refinement of jujutsu? And then he punches Maki with a black flash. The same sort of thing happens and applies to... The same thing happens with Kashimo, where he reaches the limits of human potential, he surpasses them. Just like Sukuna surpassed the limits of human potential. But even then, it's real that Toji and Sukuna, or Maki, Toji, and Sukuna are all kind of relative physically. What Sukuna does, and that's a mistake, I need to go back and correct that video that I made. When Sukuna air hops, he does it the same way Maki and Toji does. He has the exact same perception. He has the general physicals that they do. It's just the reason he's faster and not dead even with them is because he can do that plus releasing cursed energy. Every single time he gets the edge up on Maki, it's because he's doing that as well. He's bursting with cursed energy from his feet in order to not just leap off air, but propel himself. That's how he's always faster. So honestly, the Heavenly Instruction users, it's not absurd to say they just have the best physical base in the verse, implied by the narrative, both in narrative, out of narrative by Gege, and just what we see in the manga, outside of obviously the broken ones, like the gods. I know people don't like that though, because I've seen people make arguments for like, oh, Yuta and Yuji have better physicals. Maybe Yuji if you squint. And Rika, definitely. I will give you Rika, and I will give you Ryu. Maybe not Ryu. No, I will give you Ryu. I'll give you Ryu, because I love Ryu. Let's see.
The time skip, she couldn't possibly gotten any stronger, but what she can do is get more skilled and gain more experience in battle. This is why Toji and Maki is an actual debate, because their skill vary and differ while their stats are exactly the same. With that being said, if you disagree, you can definitely let me know in the comments. Going into strength, Toji is just able to tear through everything in his way.
Would y'all be interested in me doing a Toji versus Maki video? As I told you, Totei's to a Maki meat muncher. I do have a pretty funky little perspective on it. Would y'all be interested? Let me know. Let me know if anyone's still here.
Insane stats. When going against Dagon, he ran through every single thing being thrown at him. The weapon Toji had was Playful Cloud that stated to only be as strong as the user, so everything he does with this weapon is attributed to his power. After Toji ran through everything Dagon had, he used his most durable and largest Shikigami against him, to which Toji just easily dismissed him, one-shotting them and going on to dominate Dagon physically. Dagon is a disaster cursed spirit, one of the 4 that represent the peaks of cursed spirit power. He was so durable, Nanami, who has a technique that allows him to take advantage of weak spots, couldn't break his guard, something he did against Mahito. Mind you, this Dagon could barely guard because he was caught in Albedo's curse technique, projection sorcery. Despite all this, Toji arrives and puts the beats on him with a weapon that only represents his own physical prowess. He then goes on to sharpen the weapon, making it into a pseudo sword of some sorts, and exercises Dagon through repeatedly stabbing him. The feats don't stop there though, as while he was alive, he was able to slice Gojo open from the neck down with his inverted spear of heaven. As I established earlier, whatever Maki can do physically, Toji can do as well. So yes, I'm going to be using her feats for Toji himself. Maki and her two
and this is the big thing, right? This is the one thing I will readily give any Maki and Toji down player, or not even down player, any person who just doesn't have them as high as I am. At least if I'm to take what Gamblrr hinted at the start of this video, what Gamblrr and I both believe in terms of like Maki and Toji's general placement in the universe, their feats without SSK in terms of like damaging people of any tier higher than like grade 1 or special grade curse are non-existent. Unless you're in the camp that you think that Gojo was a special grade before he awakened, which is possible. Once again, it's not entirely confirmed or deconfirmed. I personally think they were both first grade 1s. Like Gojo and Geto were both grade 1s because they're described as equals a bunch during that pre-awakening period, and Geto very particularly is known as a grade 1. They only got the special grade promotion after the year once Geto's army increased and Gojo had properly awakened. But if that's the case, they don't really have special grade feats, or at least damaging special grade feats, special grade sorcerers at least. Because like Dagon is strong and all, real durable, clearly beyond Nanami when he's landing the ratio technique, but like what does that mean though? Kind of irrelevant. Does that mean he can break Yuta? I don't think so. I don't know. I'm kind of scared. I don't know. But then if we don't go with the idea they just have the best physical stats, because that's how it would work, because they are taken to the limits of human potential, and they would have higher potential than anyone else physically because they are the physically gifted heavenly restriction users, and then by proxy any sort of feat that anyone else has physically they would be able to replicate because of yada 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 yada. You get the line. If you don't believe that, for a variety of reasons, I'm perfectly fine if you don't, then they don't really have any like strength feats. And notably, every single time something gets rough for them, they use SSK. Like Toji didn't tear out of the dragon, the hardest of Geto's curses, with his raw physical strength. He used SSK and cut its soul, which has basically a 0 durability stat when he's using SSK. Same thing with Maki. She doesn't damage Sukuna outside of like maybe a tackle and a tickle. That's it. It's always SSK. So like physically damage wise, I don't blame somebody if they look at me and be like, their physical ain't all that, at least not punching wise or piercing wise, because what's their best? Dagon? And I agree. Dagon or Teen Gojo. For heavily fatigued, caught off guard Teen Gojo. Like I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you over that one. Y'all got that. They just don't really have it. You have to make arguments surrounding their lore based on other characters' feats to make assumptions on that and that exclusively. And that's it. I ain't really got much. I don't think it's too impressive. At least not physical strength wise. Even Maki's feats don't add to that. Oh, cool. She slaughters a bunch of high grade ones. Whoop-de-doo. Didn't even slaughter Naoya. Her mama had to do that for her after she landed one hit and walked away. And obviously she used SSK on Cursia and used SSK on Sukuna. So like, yeah, they're physical feats. Like they aren't ripping out Sukuna's tongue. They aren't cutting off Sukuna's arm with like a regular sword, or like, well, admittedly she does throw around Sukuna, but still, like, it's not to the same degree as what Rika or arguably enough even you'd have to offer. So I don't blame people if they still have other characters above in physical strength, even though I kind of see differently. But let's see.
Encounters with Sukuna was able to overpower him physically. Of course, in both scenarios he's not at full power, and even then he's still holding back, but Maki's still able to show off her physical prowess. Against Megumi Sukuna, she enters a short scuffle with him, punches him in the face, and pushes him away. And against his true form, when he grabs her sword, she literally throws him. Speed, just like AP, is something Toji excels at. The heavenly restriction are usually portrayed as just...
Yeah, but you know, see how it has to be like, she threw him. She knocked him away. He didn't even bring up like the slight little blood splatter that 15-finger Baguda gets. Like, that's the thing, they don't do too much damage on their own. It's always SSK, which is, it's really wacky. It's really wacky when you think about it. Especially considering other characters who should be physically weaker than them do have feats with just their bare hands. Like I mean, admittedly, it's a tongue, but Yuta did rip off Sukuna's tongue. That is a thing that did happen. But
these speed demons unless they're going against the top two in the verse, Gojo and Sukuna. Maki, severely injured and hadn't even equaled Toji yet, sliced Ogi's head off before he even noticed Maki was in the vicinity. Ogi was the same guy who claimed he was never inferior to Naobito in Jujutsu Sorcery. Of course, I don't take this statement too seriously because the betrayal difference between them is insane. This same Maki got...
Also, I think Gege, there's a statement. I think Gege came out and said Ogi was straight glazing himself. Like, that was nowhere near true at all. like ultimately that was just like straight wrong. That was Ogi headcanon, ultimately, that he was in no way inferior to Naobito except his children. Like, he was just straight delusional. But let's see.
blitzed by Mach 3 cursed Naoya, and as soon as she removed her mental block, she was unable to be touched by that same Naoya. So Toji would be around 2 bliss tier levels above a character who might be a little inferior to Naobito. And this is consistent because of what was stated during the Zenin clan massacre. Maki was terrorizing them, and they claimed that Toji could have done the exact same thing when he was around, but he just decided not to. The version of the Zenin clan when Toji was alive, let alone actively associated with them, had a prime Naobito. This Naobito has less gray hairs than the one we see in the current story, and so this means Toji could have gone up to the Zenin clan and killed everyone there, including Naobito, who's likely even faster than he was during Shibuya. And we actually saw what's needed to be a speedster like Naobito, and literally all Maki did was move faster than him and move in 24 movements. There's a specific reason I'm emphasizing this so much, but that'll come into play later in the video. Beyond Maki...
It's that statement. It's that, you know, and I'll admit, it's easy for me as a Toji toe taster and a Maki beat buncher to literally, like, it's like pocket sand. Like I reach into my pocket and I'm like, Naobito statement. And then, like, you kind of just have to, unless you want to make arguments around it, which I've seen people do, you kind of just have to, like, hold it, like, oh, second fastest sorcerer outside of Satoru Gojo, of course. That would include characters such as Geto. That would include characters such as Yuki. That would include characters such as Yuta. Because it's a narrator statement. It's not a statement made by a character in universe where you can be like, oh, no, maybe it's not true. No, that's Gege, like, speaking to us through the narrator to be like, hey, Naobito, he's like that. Unfortunately, that's when he had both arms. So, like, that statement there, so if that statement exists, and then by proxy applies to Geto, because Geto's a sorcerer, and then Kenny can't have better stats than Geto, because of the physical stat cap that's implied, or not even implied, just straight told to us exists in the series, then if Maki and Toji are either able to compete with a character who's faster than, or no, equal to Naobito. Let's just, once again, we're lowballing her shit to the ultimate extreme and assume that prime Naobito moves at Mach 3, but Toji in his prime could still have slain Naobito. Assuming Naobito and Toji are relative, for whatever reason, even though clearly that's not the case, then he'd be faster than Kenjaku. That ain't good. As we'll go to find out, I presume. But let's see.
Going band for band with Sukuna himself, we have both her and Toji reacted to electricity casually. Maki was just able to block Nue's attack, and Toji was watching lightning come at him and completely avoided it. These guys without a doubt are near the top when it comes to speed. For durability and endurance,
the only characters that I say are, like, definitively above Maki and Toji in overall speed, I'd say travel speed, it still would be the speedsters. I think if you were to put Maki and Toji in a race with Naoya, Naobito, and Cursia, I think ultimately they would still lose, because once again, it's implied that they are still faster. It's weird, I'll admit. But because Maki's awakening relies on her reading the atmosphere and precognition to a degree to amp her combat speed and reaction speed, not necessarily that her physical speed gets any better. It's just a way that she was perceiving the world beforehand versus how she was receiving it afterwards. Then technically they still have better raw speed stats. And then Kashimo, once again, thanks to the surpassing human lattice, would possibly be faster. And then Sukuna and Gojo both would likely be faster. Gojo because of blue, considering he probably still has lesser physical stats than Toji and or Maki. And then Sukuna because of the better physical form, which is being reinforced by curse energy, on top of his ability to fire curse energy bursts from his feet that allow him to move faster. That's it. It's those 5. Other words, I can't really think of characters who are physically faster than them. And even if you want to chalk up a lot of their combat speed to, like, reactions and precog, okay, still part of their combat speed. And it's a massive thing. If you want to say, well, Maki was getting blitzed by Mach 3 Naoya, but once she got her perception right, she went from getting blitzed to being able to completely flip around and almost blitz that same Naoya. That means her perception and precog is so insane that no one else in the verse will realistically be able to hit her unless it's an attack of the scale of like maximum output frost comp, which tagged her. Which I don't like that feat, but it is a feat that happened. And then like large scale stuff, like maybe a city wiping granite blast or the unlimited hollow or something like that. Stuff like that. Well, obviously unlimited hollow would just slaughter her anyway because it's unlimited hollow or hollow purple, any variety. But still, you would need like really large range attacks to do something to her. Anything that's narrow range, anything that could be dodged will be dodged. She does the world slash or full chain dismantle. Come on now. Let's see.
Toji and Maki also excel at this stat. Despite having no curse energy, their bodies are just so enhanced that they can replicate and surpass what sorcerers with curse energy can do. The perfect example of this was two things I talked about earlier. Maki was rammed into a mountain at Mach 3 and she survived it. She didn't tank it because she needed some time to recover, but she still survived the impact. And Maki just completely tanks the lightning from Nue. This Nue was Sukuna's, and you could see the raw size of the lightning, but
which is still stupid. Like, as a Toji toe taster and a Maki beat buncher, that's still one of the weirdest feats in the series. Especially considering that seems to be when Sukuna's output is not nerfed. Like, you can see in this redraw, it's from the, I forget which volume it is, but it's the 213, 212 redraw for the volume. But Maki does just tank it. Which is it's so absurd to me. Like, it is so strange, and it makes her durability cracked. Like, just for how many other characters would instantly die to this lightning. It's so stupid. I love it because it's a good durability feat, and like I pulled this one up as well for like a speed / dura feat, like Gamblrr does. But like at the same time, like, what? how did you do that? What, since when was that in your bag? Let's see.
Didn't matter to her, she took it completely without a problem. Maki also took 2 black flashes from Sukuna. The first one took her out of the battle for a little, and the second one she took like a champ. Sukuna also uses a ton of slashes on her, to which she just takes without a problem. Heck, he literally grabbed her face and she bled a little. Toji himself didn't actually showcase any durability because he never really took damage until his second fight with Gojo.
He died. Then he died. And then he proceeds to off himself by the time he returns to Shibuya. Yeah, I'll admit, Maki's worst durability feat is getting somehow scratched by Sukuna's finger. I have, like, do you know how crazy that is? 15 finger Meguna full output lightning from Nue. Nothing. A finger. Damage. A black flash. Barely anything. A finger. Damn. Like, I don't know. KK. You a madman. Let's see.
He was hit with red, and even while weakening it with Inverted Spear of Heaven, he took damage. Of course, it didn't do any lasting damage to him, he just started bleeding, but if he took it without the weapon, I think a lot worse could have been done to him.
I honestly, I still, that one anime only scene makes the Inverted Spear of Heaven so weird and wacky. I'll admit, it makes it so funky crunky, because why did it interact like that? At least from what's implied in the manga, it's just the idea that Toji face tanked the red. Like, he ate it. Because then in the manga, he goes on to say, as long as I have the Inverted Spear of Heaven, red and blue are not a problem. Which makes sense. He could shut them off. But, like, clearly in the anime, they make him block with it, but it still doesn't turn off the technique. So does that mean anime Inverted Spear of Heaven, or even possibly manga Inverted Spear of Heaven, considering we know Gege does like to use the anime at least as a reference for the manga sometimes, based on what he mentioned about drawing the Shinjuku Showdown? Does that mean anime Inverted Spear of Heaven, or just general Inverted Spear of Heaven, doesn't cancel out curse techniques just on contact with the blade? You do need to stab something? If so, that's a massive nerf, and kind of weird on how it would interact with like a bunch of curse techniques. But I don't know, it's really strange. Let's see.
The thing is though, I can't really say this is an anti-feat because red is the same attack that literally could one-shot Mahoraga. Sukuna's Mahoraga at that. With that being said, he's...
Now, in red's, weirdly enough, anti-defense and Toji's anti-defense, a Mahoraga that's unadapted kind of has like no durability feats. And I'm talking about like he kind of has none. Like, I glaze Mahoraga a lot, but like in retrospect, especially if you look at the initial appearance of him, he has like no dura unless he's adapted to something. So like, Sure, the fact that he gets one shot by red is cool, but Jogo also takes a red with literally like minimal damage. I don't know. Let's see.
Durable, but there are definitely more durable characters out there. I'll go a little bit into endurance in the hack section, but before we get there, I'd like to ask you guys to subscribe. We're a little far into the video, and since you're still here, clearly you're enjoying it, so go ahead and join the channel. Let's get to 70k.
For the more durable characters in JJK, I'll give Ryu, I'll give Gojo, I'll give Sukuna, and I'll give Rika and probably, can I say Yuta? Probably Yuta. I'd say Yuta. Because like she never eats anything full chant. Well, it is. And Yuta's described as one of the bulkier characters. Oh, and Yuji. Probably. The whole weird thing about Yuji is that he takes like unquantifiably nerfed damage from Sukuna because he's soaked in his cursed energy. That's the only weird thing about like glazing Yuji and his Dura. Like, oh wow, look at all the hits he took from Sukuna. Yeah, but Sukuna also was kind of like Sukuna is essentially hitting himself, and as Gojo states, apparently that lessens the damage that one would take. So like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's why I find it more and more hard, especially as I reread the Shinjuku Showdown and prepare some scaling videos. I'm like, how much can I really glaze Yuji? Oh, this is weird. But let's see.
The end of the year. Finally, we have hacks, and this is when I can mainly talk about Toji in. Before that though, did you know that the two, Maki and Toji, have a certain level of regeneration? When Maki got rammed by Naoya, she took...
It don't matter. Let me be the first to say it once again. I feel like I'm consistently like, I love Maki and Toji, but let me clarify. The regeneration is irrelevant in a fight. I'll be honest, especially with, until like the anime or Gege retroactively uses a timer for how long it took her to get back off from that Black Flash, the regeneration is butt. It is butt. Because notably, Mio needed to like spend a whole bunch of time, how many, like 300 plus matches in his domain for her to heal up the damage from that Mach 3 tackle. So, however long you think 300 matches of sumo take is what it took for her to fully heal off from that tackle, or sometime in between there. And in the Sukuna fight, she just never appears after the Black Flash. She gets with the Black Flash, the dismantles, and then disappears for the rest of the fight. So, like, her regen, and by proxy Toji's regen, I would, like, it's so non-quantifiable and so butt that I wouldn't say it's even a relevant factor in the fight. If Maki takes damage, it might as well be permanent, for the most part. Especially since Maki and Toji are both characters who, like, are meant to kill you quickly. Like, if you live that first hit, or they live that first hit, it's just damage that's going to be there. They may regenerate slowly, but it's not like their characters will run away and stall either. You would have to like plug a controller up their butt and control them in order to make sure they run away and heal damage in the time, or to like stall up in the sky for characters who can't fly. Like, it's just not a thing they would do in character. So I feel like the regen doesn't matter.
Kamo, she needed a little time to heal her injuries, 5 minutes to be exact, and Kamo himself said Maki suffered internal damage, so for some reason the heavily restricted just have a healing factor. But beyond that, Toji has a ton of weapons in his hidden inventory. Get it? Hidden inventory. Starting off with his most broken weapon, he has the original version of the Soul Split Katana. This does exactly what the name says. It splits the soul of what it touches. This is what allows him to use Soul Split Katana so effectively. He's able to just bypass the durability of what he's attacking and go directly for its soul. It was so effective, it tore through Geto's most durable cursed spirit, the dragon, and it was effortless. Maki also just slices Naoya in half with the katana. It stated directly that if you don't have perception of the soul, you cannot heal from the wounds that you get from it. Sukuna was able to heal his wound because he has soul perception. This ability is exclusive to a few characters, one of which is super contentious, but we'll go over that a little later. Toji also...
Kenny may have soul perception, and it's not absurd to say Kenny has soul perception, because he's the reason the sorcerers could incarnate again. So like, Kenny being one of the few who has soul perception and could RCT SSK isn't a crazy claim to make. The only question is how quickly he could adapt to it, because notably it is described as a different kind of phenomenon. Sukuna couldn't do it immediately because he didn't fully understand what was going on. He was still suffering the after effects of the battle with Satoru Gojo. But still, it's a little, I will admit, it's a little contentious on whether or not Kenny can heal it. I'd say he can. Just because of how much knowledge he has. And if Yuki could possibly have soul perception and can possibly heal us all, like, something Kenny. Let's see.
Has inverted spear of heaven, as well as the chain of 1,000 miles. The spear is able to turn off / force the stoppage of any curse technique. We actually saw this directly with Gojo, allowing Toji to literally stab through his infinity. Of course, there's a limit to it, likely depending on the output and range of the attack. We see Toji unable to nullify Gojo's red when he uses it. Red is stated to have 2 times the output of blue, so I'm guessing the crazy amounts of output from the attack is what stopped the nullification. There's also the range aspect, as Toji knows with the chain he can nullify blue. If your output isn't all that, or Toji gets in close to attack, the amounts of output from the attack is what stopped the nullification. There's also the range.
There we go. His stopping technique has been issued from the start. He can nullify attraction with my extended range, reach of the sphere, have it. Even my speed is effective. As long as they don't mess up the timing, I can use Inverted Spear as a shield against his repelling power. That's the thing. I guess actually technically, never mind. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess like when I think shield, I do think of like blocking something. Like I can use this staff, for example, like a shield against something. That doesn't mean it automatically turns it off. So yeah, maybe the Inverted Spear is just a little overrated. Maybe it's just butt. Now that I think about it, now that I've actually like read that panel and started to think about it in that way, it may just be butt. Because like that's garbage. Force stoppage of all curse techniques by foot. You can't even stop a curse technique reversal. What's the point of you? You're trash. What's it?
As big as Toji knows with the chain he can nullify blue. If your output isn't all that, or Toji gets in close to attack, the curse technique will be nullified. With the chain, he's able to obviously extend the range of his nullification ability. Another thing Toji has is his fly heads. He used them against Gojo to block out his ability to track where he is. This gives emphasis on Toji's battle IQ. He immediately made a plan to get through Gojo's tricky abilities and executed it perfectly. Beyond all this, he has his normal weapons like a handgun, a katana, and a small knife. But with that said, I've skilled Toji, so now let's get into our other combatant, Kenjaku. Kenjaku's a sorcerer who's been around even since the Heian era, witnessing the strength of Ryoma Sukuna, the strongest sorcerer of all time. Being able to live for this long gives credence to his overwhelming power, and so now, let's get into how this guy scales. This is kind of funny because just like with Toji, we have to establish Kenjaku's scaling along with another character, Suguru Geto. Believe it or not, Kenjaku and Geto's scaling are literally the exact same.
Yep.
When Gege was asked about grip strength between a ton of characters, Kenjaku and Geto's body was second to Toji and Manga.
See, look at that. Kenjaku wearing Geto's body. You know, ain't that? And it's so crazy because this statement implies, and of course, it's just grip strength, right? It's just grip strength, but it implies that Geto has better stats than Gojo, base to base, as like humans, which isn't absurd because I think Geto is bigger than Gojo. Well, are they? I actually forget who's bigger, but like it makes sense, kind of. If Geto's larger than Gojo and has more musculature, it does make sense because remember, even Gojo would be affected by his cap. All characters in the universe have it, except for those who surpass it, like Kashimo. But even then, clearly his surpassed cap is still not that good considering what happened with Sukuna. But still, it's crazy. This statement is so funky. Let's see.
But something of note is that in the same question, Kenjaku and Noritoshi Kamo's body is included. When Gojo reads Kenjaku's body, all he can see is Geto. The only thing different between Geto and Kenjaku is his ability to use reverse curse technique, domain expansion, and probably his curse energy efficiency.
Which is still very big. Like, they are two different characters. Like, don't get me wrong. Having a DE at all, a consistent DE that's not based on headcanon, because trust me, I know, I've heard it, and I believe it, I agree, but to limited degrees. The whole idea that, well, for all intents and purposes, Geto could have, like, infinite DEs, considering the many curses he has. Yeah, true. Where are they? What do they do? How effective are they against people? I just don't talk about them too much. Let's see.
Probably because I used to think Kenjaku had top 3 efficiency in the verse, but apparently using a domain expansion wore him down so much. Yeah, he's not that guy. I also want to make it clear that...
Now, I wouldn't say that. Because wait, let me see. I think the statement just says chipped away at his curse energy.
I used to think Kenjaku had top 3 efficiency in the verse, but apparently using a
reverse curse technique in his domain chipped away. That's the thing. It chipped away at his curse energy. Right? That's not the like, don't get me wrong, I'm not in the camp that like Kenjaku can like domain the like Geto and the like Gojo and Sukuna can, but it just chipped away at it. Like I don't think Geto was anywhere near out of curse energy. He had enough curse energy left to turn himself into a domain. applying the anti-gravity engine to resist a black hole. Admittedly, a suppressed black hole, but to resist a black hole. Like, I'd say Geto still is number 3 in the verse with cursed energy efficiency. Undeniably. Beneath Sukuna, obviously, and beneath Gojo, obviously, but like, he's still clearly number 3. Especially with the phrase chipped away. Like for example, when you chip away at something, that's not like taking a huge chunk of it. It'd be one thing if Yuki said, and notably, this is a statement from Yuki, who knows little to nothing about Kenjaku. Clearly, she lost. So like, when something is chipped away at, I wouldn't say that that's much. If she even said, using domain expansion and reverse curse technique took a lot out of him, that'd be one thing. But just chipped away at, I don't know. I wouldn't say that's much.
Main expansion wore him down so much? Yeah, he's not that guy. I also want to make it clear that yes, the Gojo thing helps, because if you don't remember, no matter what situation you're in, you ooze curse energy. This is what Yuji had to learn back in the early stages of the story, and so for Gojo to look at Kenjaku and not realize the difference means his curse energy manipulation is almost the exact same as well. Anything Geto does, Kenjaku can do, and anything Kenjaku can do, Geto can do. With that being said, let's get into strength. I just mentioned it, but because of Geto's body, Kenjaku's literally stated to have higher grip strength than Gojo himself. This would mean that Kenjaku's base physical capabilities are super high and they get amplified by his use of curse energy. Sadly, we just barely see this strength in play. He punches Choso a lot, but he just ends up tanking them and continuing on to fight. Instead, he showcases his strength through his curse spirits. Against Yuji, he's able to combine curse spirit manipulation and gravity to pin him down and blast him with cursed spirits. This had Yuji cooked, and he does the exact same thing to Choso later on, almost taking him out of the battle. Of course, both of them survived and actually continued on fighting, but this is Kenjaku's more weaker attacks. Kenjaku has 3 more things I want to go into. 2 of them are kind of the same thing, Mini Uzumaki and Uzumaki. Mini Uzumaki was able to turn Yuki into a donut but burn her when blocked. Uzumaki, on the other hand, is an attack that matched Yuta's Binding Vow boosted Love Beam. Kenjaku's full power Uzumaki will be even stronger as he has millions of curses, likely creating probably the most potent concentration of curse energy in the entire series. And beyond that, he has his domain expansion, and that put Yuki into critical condition. She was still able to get up and box with Kenjaku, but eventually she just reached her limit. He also has, of course, gravity, but that doesn't really do anything but hold people down. For speed,
here's the thing. I'm kind of sticking quiet for a little bit because I don't want to. I'm feeling I'm yapping too much. I'm sorry, but what was I about to say? Think. The thing about Uzumaki that's kind of whack is that not only is it small, kind of, at least for the mini ones, but even the large ones, you can move. Like they're beams. They are beams, so you can just dodge them. Like the big one that, admittedly, it seems like only Mahito was fueled into that Uzumaki that Kenny launched at Kusakabe, so like, or launched at Miwa, who Kusakabe then saved her from. Like, it left a sizable crater on the ground, but like it wasn't too big. So like, I think Maki and Toji could easily weave that. For 1, and for 2, domain doesn't work, and for 3, yeah, that's the thing. He's going into it, but Kenny, and by proxy, they don't have any physical feats. I mean, Rika Circle Jerk. The Rika Circle Jerk goes crazy, but I've seen even arguments against that. Like someone laid it out really well. I forget how they had explained it in the comment, but they had like rationalized the Rika Circle Jerk to me. Like ultimately the idea that Rika, even though she was fully manifested a full-bodied cursed spirit and bloodlusted alongside Yuta, she may literally have been suppressed by Yuta. As in like she was keeping up with baby Yuta to not outpace him or do anything like this. Even though she was bloodlusted, she may still be nerfed and or holding back during Volume 0. It's a little funky of an explanation, though. I think it would make sense. Like, I don't think Rika knows how to hold back. But then again, she wasn't at her gargantuan size scale that we know she can go to throughout that final fight, which may imply she was still holding back. So I don't know. It's 50-50. We'll see.
Can we move forward? Geto was definitely not a speedster, and so by extension, Kenjaku obviously isn't either. Kenjaku was going band for band with baby Yuta, and of course I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He was boxing with both him and Rika, but it still doesn't look too good on his part. Kenjaku himself was going band for band with Yuki, whose speed really isn't anything to write home about. In fact, Yuki's the same sorcerer whose skills below pre-Sendai Yuta, so the fact that Kenjaku and her are going at it makes sense. They're both Yuta victims. Alright, with all the jokes aside, Kenjaku's speed isn't all I'm sensing malice. Oh, it's your boy Plank. Kenjaku reacted to Yuki's black hole means absolutely nothing to our line of scaling. One is clearly a Gege oversight, as 15 chapters earlier he was hyping up Mach 3. Gege also made a comment about the ridiculousness of JJK's speed scaling, making fun of how it went from Mach speeds to infinite. Also, no, this isn't to show the higher levels of Jujutsu because, again, Yuta was literally stated to be stronger than Yuki before their fight. So the only thing you can say is that everyone on that level can replicate what Kenjaku did. Going into durability, man, I don't even want to continue.
It's kind of funky. Like, oh, Yuki may just, she may just be garbage. Somebody asked me, when it got confirmed that Toto was involved in the Kenny taking, yeah, I can say it, Kenny killing, the cake. I may not say that anymore. But when Toji was involved in, when it was real that Toto was involved in that, a lot of people were commenting to me, "Hey, Pencil, is Yuki still trash?" And I sat there and I was like, maybe not, but still probably kind of. Like, if she really is a pre-Sendai Yuta victim, if we're to take that statement at face value, she's trash. Because then Kenny would lose to that Yuta. If they're going, then again, I'm kind of against the idea that Kenny and Yuki are even relative, but I don't know. That may just be me being biased. I still need to think about that more. I'll think about it more. Let's see.
Got his head sliced off by base Yuta. He had to literally move his brain to survive piercing blood. The guy isn't him. The greatest thing I remember him doing was taking Yuki's attack.
That actually is a pretty bad feat. I won't lie to you. Him being an actual real life danger from piercing blood is actually kind of absurd. Because like, remember, it pierced their hand, but Urume caught piercing blood. Admittedly from a farther distance though, so maybe the potency was down. Because like, Choso was doing it at point blank, right? But still, the fact that Kenny's dome piece wasn't strong enough to tank that is kind of absurd when Urume can kind of just palm it and take very minimal damage. But let's see.
But it was noted by him that he would have been done if Yuki's output was at full power. Put the back shots in the bag. Finally going.
Okay. See, this is I'm still a Jaku Jacker. But how much can I glaze him if he's just a nerd? It's the open domain. The open domain saves me. The open domain saves me in every single thing. I know the Yuta fans were like, whoa, wait a minute. Because like it was always a switch out, right? Like if I didn't have Maki and Toji, I'd be like, bah, Kenjaku. But I know now in this video, a lot of the Yuta fans in the comments who know me are gonna be like, wait a minute. Pencil sounds like you may be shifting, and like, I may just be, but I don't want to downplay Kenjaku. But at the same time, how do I upplay Kenjaku without narrative? If I take away narrative and just analyze this feat at face value, they're kind of butt. But
into hacks, I've been waiting to bring up Kenjaku's cursed spirits. This is because the version of Kenjaku we'll be using is a supposed prime. So he'd have the cockroach from Sendai, the Ganesha curse, and the millions of cursed spirits I was talking about earlier. The only cursed spirit of note though is Ganesha. This cursed spirit has the weird ability to remove all obstacles. Against the military, the soldiers were teleported into the sky and dropped down. This is the only time we saw this curse do anything though, because Yuki one-shotted it with a kick from Garuda. I also want to say it again, Kenjaku's hypothetical Uzumaki in this state is probably the strongest attack in the entire verse. Maybe I'm glazing, you can let me know in the comments.
It probably is. If you convert 10 million curse spirits directly into curse energy that can be outputted, it may just surpass Unlimited Hollow and Fuga, dog. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's probably way stronger than Granite Blast. I ain't even gonna lie.
Kenjaku has anti-gravity and the reversal of it, which would obviously be gravity. But Yuki analyzed it, and this thing is nothing. It only affects things 2 to 3 meters from Kenjaku, and it lasts for only 6 seconds.
Okay, but that's not bad. The thing is good about it is that it leads into setups. Like, I always talk in fighting game terminology, despite not being that good of a fighting game player myself. But the thing that I compare it to is kind of, I could use Dizzy from Guilty Gear Stride that just dropped. But it is more so a setup move, right? Like he uses gravity, he locks you down, and 2 to 3 meters isn't that bad. Like, think about that. That's what, about 10 feet? 9 if you just say meter equals yard. But I know like meters are, I forget if I think they're like longer or shorter than a yard by a little bit. So like,
yeah, hell no.
for all, oh gosh darn it, Gamblrr language. 59. I'm watching and listening, Gamblrr. But with that being the case, it's a solid thing. You set up into one thing into another. The only thing that sucks about it is that he can't do both. It seems like he cannot attack as he gravities you. It is a standstill, gravity you, and then do something else. And for characters who have drastically better reactions than him, the setup is basically worthless. Because, like, he pins you down, he lets you go, and then in that interval where he needs to spawn a cursed spirit to do something to you, Maki and Toji will probably already be gone. That's the big issue. Let's see.
Kenjaku also has reverse curse technique to heal his wounds and his most broken adversary, his domain expansion. Other than its insane AP, it's an open domain allowing him to summon his curse technique into the real world. With that said, we've analyzed both characters' abilities in battle. So what would happen if they were to fight? Let's get into it right now.
Play the wait, what is it? Play the Budokai music!
This fight will happen at the same place Toji fought Gojo the first time. This is because I wanted to show you guys this beautiful thumbnail again. Same rules as always, whoever dies or gets knocked out first, loses. So let's go and simulate the fight. Play the Budokai music!
Yeah.
The fight would start and Kenjaku would immediately know who Toji is. This is because he has Geto's memories, and because of this, he know that Toji is a sneaky guy and he has insane strength. With that being said, he wouldn't let Toji get near him, opting to keep a distance, so he'd use Ganesha. Sadly, he doesn't actually know about Toji's inverted spear of heaven that calls for the forced stoppage of cursed techniques. Whether or not the cursed spirit would just stop being controlled by Kenjaku, or if the cursed technique would stop because of the weapon, is up to you, but it just means that Toji wouldn't be stopped by Ganesha. Also, Toji has a resistance to curses, so if you don't want to say that Ganesha uses a cursed technique, which wasn't even stated, so there's a reason to believe that, Toji would have resistance to it because it stems from cursed energy. With Ganesha not being able to stop him and Toji likely cutting through it like the dragon, Kenjaku would be shook, and if it ends up like the Yuki situation, the fight might just end right there and then.
Depends on if Toji whips out SSK immediately. That's the thing. I will say this, because of the lack of, like, actual striking feats that Toji has, with his general physicals, and, like, a regular sword, like, he pierces Teen Gojo. Whoop whoop. Like, he needs to pull out SSK, but if he does, in that moment where Kenny's confused, and SSK's Kenny's dumb, he's dead. He's dead. Or, that's the thing. If he stabs him with inverted spear, which is entirely possible, Kenny's dead. Because he relies on a cursed technique to exist. He just dies. He may be cooked regardless.
It's because while Yuki was fast enough to box with Kenjaku relatively, she used the Ganesha curse to pull up on Kenjaku in close range. Toji is faster than Yuki. Now Beto is the fastest sorcerer behind Gojo,
there it
and
is.
Toji is able to deal with that speed, implying relativity or surpassing him. This also means Toji should be at the very least faster than Jogo, who Dagon himself questions if now Beto is faster than him. Jogo is someone Gege literally said gave Kenjaku too much trouble in trying to put him into his curse technique. This by itself would mean at the very least, if Kenjaku's caught up like this, he would not be able to guard, and Toji would split his soul with Soul Split Katana. There also isn't any evidence that Kenjaku can perceive the soul. You can know about it or subconsciously protect it without having that. With that being said, he'd have no...
Okay, that wasn't me. If you'll ever hear mysterious cuts in the middle of it, that one was not me. I do it sometimes. Typically, some people like put sound cues over it. I'm scared. I just wipe it out immediately. Then I'll snap it. But I'd say Kenny can perceive the soul. I'd say so, because he does the soul things. He does the soul thing. He steals people away, so then he can be reincarnated later. He can see the soul. Like once again, I'm mostly against headcanon. So if you don't want to believe Kenny can see the soul, fine, down with it. But I believe it. I believe it. If Sukuna can perceive the contours of his own soul, if Kenjaku can perceive the contours of the... Well, if Sukuna can see it and Yuji can see it, I believe Kenjaku can see it. Because he's kind of in the same scenario as Sukuna. In a roundabout way, though his is much more direct because of his curse technique. Let's see.
Way to heal from the attack, and Toji would just win. This is but one outcome though. Let's go into some of the others. Kenjaku can instead try to overwhelm Toji with his cursed spirits. He stated this himself. Once his opponent figures out what his technique is, he just piles cursed spirits on them. With that said, this isn't a good tactic against Toji either. You saw him run through the Shikigami Dagon had with just his physical strength and Pray for Cloud. With his Duranex sword, he'd do easy crowd control. There isn't a single cursed spirit he has to worry about because he just slices through all of it. Once Toji gets in close, however, Kenjaku can use his gravity to hold him down or at the very least stun him.
See these two, man. Come on, man. You know why they're laughing? Come on, man. Because they
First off, we've seen a weaker Maki who's bleeding out from almost dying just directly fight against a curse technique that holds you in place. It's not like Kenjaku's. The curse technique is literally made to hold you in place, and she just overpowers it with strength. Toji is significantly stronger than this, and so the gravity just wouldn't phase him. Beyond this, Toji hasn't.
Okay, as a Toji toe taster and a Maki meme, I'm a little against that. Because, like, even Garuda was forced down. Like, notably, Garuda is presumably at all times infused with a pretty decent amount of virtual mass. Of course, it does drop. Oh, wait, no. Maybe, but I think there's a little too much headcanon. I would assume that the gravity would work. But then again, do I think the gravity would work on characters like Gojo and Sukuna? Ooh, probably. It may just flat out be a resistance thing. Plus resistance to curses. Maybe Gamblr's right there, but the Kamikaze effect, I don't think it would work like that. I think ultimately it would work for like 2 seconds, and either A, Toji with the inverted spear would immediately negate it by like piercing the gravity, as crazy as that sounds, and or gets pinned down, 6 seconds are up, Kenny goes to attack with Curse Spirit Manipulation, Toji is already gone. Because he's just that much faster. What's it?
Inverted Spear of Heaven. He just turns the gravity off. The range of the gravity is terrible as well, so it would be as effective as Infinity was for Toji.
Okay, I would say like an effective radius of 2 to 3 meters is not small. Like, personally, I'm only 2 feet tall, so like imagine 8 of me around me. That's the gravity rate. That's not tiny. That's way bigger than Gojo's Infinity. Even like the larger scale Infinities we've seen him do. Like, remember how big his Infinity got against Hanami and it was pushing Hanami away? It's like, at least, assuming that was a meter, which I think is highballing that, 2 to 3 meters would be 3 or 4 of those distances for gravity's effective range. That's not small. Like, darn near 9 feet ain't small. Or more than 9 feet. Let's see.
A non-factor. From there, Toji turns him into some cheese, slicing him up and ending the fight. The third scenario I want to go over is Kenjaku using his domain expansion right off the bat.
Wouldn't work.
This is a scenario because unlike other domains, Kenjaku's domain expansion is open. And because of this fact, there's an assumption that this automatically gives him a win condition on Toji and Maki.
Does not. And before he explains it, I want to explain it. The reason that Sukuna's works on Maki and Toji is not just because it's open barriered, it's because the dismantle is also imbued into the domain and specifically targets inanimate objects. There's no such statement for Kenny's technique. And thusly, it can only be presumed that it works by targeting cursed energy like every other domain ever. The perk of it being open barriered is that it would still be good against other barrier users because cursed barrier shells are also made out of cursed energy. Thusly, they would be targeted unlike a building. Maki and Toji are buildings. Thusly, they would not be targeted by Kei's technique. The only thing that would be targeted on Toji in particular, which could cause him trouble if he did not draw out his kit at that point, is his worm. His worm would insta-die. That's the one issue Toji have. His worm would probably instantly perish. Because that would be targeted because it has cursed energy. So, like, that would die. But that's about it.
No, it does not. Kenjaku's domain is not Sukuna's. Here's the difference. When Sukuna's domain expansion was used back in Shibuya, it was deliberately stated what the Shurihit consists of. For anything with cursed energy within range, cleave. For inanimate objects, dismantle. Until Malevolent Shrine is gone, it will relentlessly attack all targets within a Shurihit. Can anyone show me where it says anything about open domains attacking things without cursed energy? Because that is not here. In fact, the trees and space around Kenjaku are completely untouched by the domain because, again, it's not like Sukuna's. The domain would, however, attack Toji's worm, to which he know, just like he does about reverse curse technique, to avoid it. With that being said, Toji can just swallow the curse spirit again and finish the fight against Kenjaku, who has no curse technique due to burnout. And when everything's done, Toji has won every single scenario I put him in. He's significantly faster than Kenjaku. He has durability negation to get through his already lackluster durability. Not a single cursed spirit in his arsenal can hold Toji down. His domain expansion cannot work against him, and it would even get to that point. And if worse comes to worse, Toji cancels everything coming at him with Inverted Spear of Heaven. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm pretty sure you're waiting for me to talk about Uzumaki. You know, the thing that Kusakabe and Fodder reacted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go fuck.
Whoa! Okay. Wait. I'm sorry. I just got the Jingle Bang. No, I'm like holding this in all videos now. Like this is just gonna be become part of videos. I don't know. I just like it. But that aside, hopefully I don't have to edit that. But a W video. I find myself agreeing. I'm gonna make the Maki versus Kenny video. I'm gonna make the Toji versus Kenny video myself. And I'll see. Honestly, I haven't even tried to reach out to Gamblrr, so I'll see. I'd love to collab with Gamblrr. He seems like a really fun guy to collab with. But I'll see. But yeah, I find myself agreeing. Because the main thing is, right? What feats? What statements? What do we have for Kenny to get him above Toji? Thanks to the Maki beat. Like, what do we have? What's in the bag? What's in the bag? What's in the bag, y'all? Because I don't see anything in the bag. The bag is empty for Kenny and his scaling and his statements. And that's really bad. That's really bad. In fact, it really does make it harder and harder to argue Kenny is number 3 because he just doesn't have the feats or the statements to go along with that. He's in a real rough spot. But of course, that's what I think, and that's what Gamblrr thinks. But please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave brain shots. Instead of back shots, leave brain, as in like the thing Kenny said. Leave brain shots in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also do happen to have a page down below where you can support me for as little as $1 things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. So now become a member of the channel for as little as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks will include the live reactions to every series I have to review, ad-free reactions of all my videos, and becoming $25 Patreon or $20 member. You can order whatever video you want. Also, you have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below where you can drop 5 beats for a short video, 25 beats for a long video, or any beats at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.
I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Zara, Greyhound, Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Brandon Payne, Glacier XZ, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 members, A+A, Ignil Lind, Kevin Encarnacion, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 members, Fine, Austin Wimberly, Uchiha, and Yuki Ally. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members, AZ Void, J Warrior, and Robbie Uchiha. And I'd like to give a big ol' thank you to our $10 patrons, Overlord Zero, Waki Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give a final, gracious, gargantuan thank you to our $100 That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.